There is a certain group of people that wants your genetics to disappear.
The best tricks are the oldest tricks. Who's your oldest buddy?
I think the government made the plague on purpose to get rid of the population growth.
Water droplets in my truck had bubbles in them, and they left like a residue. Oh boy. Here's the future brain surgeons and rocket scientists of America making me late to work. The worst thing you could do is go live in the woods. And I would wake up every morning and look out on the field with the morning dew. White people have a learning disability. You're like this cartoon.
In 1900, 90% of Americans were self-employed. Now it's about 2%.
I'm thinking it's time we gotta take the cities back.
You're not allowed to crap on the sidewalk. Pull up your pants and get the hell out of here.
Most people should not exist. You would not have seen that 15 years ago.
Hey yo, Taliban K, 1477! I stop you!
Really, anything external, at some point it's going to be violated. It's intentional to lower the quality of life.
It's called consolidation. Strengthen governments and corporations, weaken individuals.
Like, yeah, you have to be armored up. World control agenda is pretty open. End state of Brazilian favelas will be here 20 years sooner. So what are people going to do about it?
With taxes, this can be done imperceptibly over time.
UBI's here, we got it. Congratulations.
Where do you see America in the next decade?
A slow slide into looking like Brazil, stratification of the rich, paying for security, gated communities, fences, stuff like that, and favelas, but with more corporate branding. So your favela will be sponsored by Yoplait.
I got denied for military disability after serving in an Afghan village.
Is there a lawyer you can go see about getting your disability? Listen, I don't want to, anybody who's like, oh, take the moral high road. You don't want to be on welfare. That's not your friend, okay? That's a guy, that's an ideological guy. That's a guy who's got a point to prove. That's Johnny, my hands hurt from working so hard, okay? That's not me, all right? If you're down and out right now, you need a buck.
You need welfare.
You need, get the welfare, okay? Everybody else, all you're doing is you're accelerating the collapse of society. It's not a karmically positive or negative thing. It just means that the end state of Brazilian favelas will be here 20 years sooner. And hopefully you'll at least have a generator and some diesel fuel when that comes around. So go talk to a lawyer, a welfare lawyer. Become a problem for the state. That's if you live in New York City, in New York, California. If you live in a small town in Wyoming, don't do that. But if you live somewhere in one of these Sodom and Gomorrah places, become a huge problem for the people around you. That's my advice.
Yeah, we should get scratching.
Yeah. This is all a waste of time if we're broke and we're not rolling heavy Pinball Wizard 100,000 heavy.
What do you think of Charles's targeted and intentional homeless theory in big cities?
I feel like that's not even a conspiracy theory. I feel like you can find documents to back that up. Is that my imagination or not? That's the idea that one of the reasons why there are these homeless people everywhere trying to stick a knife inside you. It's intentional to lower the quality of life and increase the sort of psychic chaos that is part and parcel of living in a big city. And I think that's it's not a stretch to say that that's intentional. I'm not as comfortable drawing the line between what's intentional and what is just a byproduct of ineptitude and the inefficiency that comes with scale and the misaligned incentives for politicians. Like the political power is the effect that it has on the brain is the same effect that like cocaine has on a brain, which is why cocaine and crack and drugs like this go hand in hand sometimes with people who are in positions of power, disproportionately sort of based. If you're looking at, a white person in a high income bracket, it doesn't make sense that they'd be doing crack. But you see it disproportionately with politicians, and one reason for that is that the effect that political power has on the brain is the same effect that cocaine has. The Ukrainian guy, he's always sniffling, and it's been said multiple times by many people that the person who would be a politically perfect leader is like the person who wants the job the least. And I don't think that that's necessarily the case, but it's like it does underline the fact that the incentives are not at all aligned with what the desired result should be. You guys are young. It wasn't this way 15 years ago. You wouldn't be walking around a nice city 15 years ago and have a crazy guy walking around going,
Hey, yo, Taliban K, 14 standing state. This white boy trying to kill me. Hey, yo!
you would not have seen that 15 years ago unless you were in the most abject ghetto. What are they going to do out there? Come in here and start? I would love that.
I would love it. Hey, yo, 1471, Taliban K, this white boy trying to kill me. Yeah!
You wouldn't go 15, 20 years ago if you walked around London, England. You wouldn't have heard, I stop you! I stop you! So yeah, it's intentional. When is it going to turn violent? That's my question. Because these people they're around. That's what it makes me wonder. Gives one pause. Makes one wonder. When will be the first shot? Because I think the world control agenda is pretty open. So what are people going to do about it? I'm excited, waiting to see. I'm going to have my popcorn ready. May you live in interesting times. That's the Chinese proverb. And also, you don't have like typhoid. We're also in like the cushiest, most insulated age of humanity. So recognize that too. The grass is always greener, you know? So you have to do what you can with what you have. That's all you can do.
Mate with the 25 says, Sam, what are your thoughts on San Francisco's board open to reparations with the $5 million lump sum to every black adult in the city? I'm not even trolling. Google it.
I think that's great. I think they should do 10 million.
Anything to make us hyperinflate faster, I'm down with.
Accelerationism. Give them all 10 million and then make it worth nothing. So that your 10 million buys you a plasma screen. So it's just at the end of the day, the reparations is just you get a plasma screen TV. They should give them plasma screen TVs and then give them a bill for 5 million.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been affirmative action and welfare, the welfare state. I don't think they've helped anybody, but we've been doing reparations, incentivizing people to have babies and not know who the partner is. I think that's a terrible idea, but we've been paying, and nobody who's alive owes any of these people. Nobody who is alive nowadays owes any of these people anything. Remember that. You do not owe anybody anything.
Could you pretend to be black to get some money?
Yeah. Do that too. It's time to pull out every trick in the book.
Do you think UBI will happen soon, or just chaos, or a mixture?
Well, I think we have a kind of like soft UBI, which is the limitless capital for huge tech companies that trickles down into them being able to hire 1 million warehouse workers.
Yeah.
And like your ability to go get a job for $20 an hour. That's the form that UBI is taking in this country. I think just culturally, it's too unpopular of an idea to have explicit UBI, but there already is implicit UBI. Like most people should not exist. Like given their like usefulness and their. I'm not saying kill them. I'm just saying like
naturally it wouldn't happen.
Like 2/3 of the country would starve to death if it weren't set up the way it is right now. So UBI is here. We got it. Congratulations. Next 15 years does not look good, does it though? I think that true instability. I think that the instability that we see on in the media is not the real deal, and I think that true instability is bad for business, and that's why it's kind of not allowed to happen so much. Yeah. At least in the United States. Nevertheless, it's a little stressful. It can definitely stress you out if you pay attention to it. Trades and knowing how to do stuff is going to be a lot more valuable. I think that anybody who's moving forward, anybody who's competent and like savvy enough, be on your A game, I guess, is what I would say.
I think we'll have more great video games.
We definitely are going to have way more great video games. A lot of them.
Sam, what are your thoughts on antinatalism, the belief that procreation is morally wrong? I'm still young, 22, but feel like having kids is a bad idea, seeing how the future is looking.
Shut up, bitch.
We need warriors.
I don't mean that in a bad way, but just
Yeah.
shut up, bitch. Wait, stop being. Just shut up.
Who's gonna fight in our holy war?
Just don't.
You know,
You're not smart enough to think about that type of problem. You're just regurgitating some headline or something. Some college professor. You're just repeating something you heard. How much land is unused in the U.S.? The continental U.S. and the vast majority is undeveloped. Only 69 million acres. Only 3.6% is urban. Shut up. It's just noise. It's a certain type of people trying. There is a certain group of people that wants your genetics to disappear. There's a certain type of mindset that these college academics, media people, these high tier ivory tower people, it's just neurotic bullshit, and you don't need to listen to it.
Sam, there's 3,400 people watching. If everyone went and caused a pregnancy tonight.
If everyone sent me $10 and then went and caused the pregnancy tonight, we'd be in good shape. We would think about that. Think about that. If everyone sent me $10, we'd actually be in pretty good shape right now. I mean, first of all, it's none of your business. Like, what are you gonna fix? Second of all, you're like this cartoon. And third of all, the only thing you can control is like what is around you. Take care of the people around you and become. That's why you lift weights, is so you can become strong to protect people. Just focus on local. Focus on your circle and helping the people that are like loyal to you. Don't worry about the bigger stuff because it's all rigged anyway. I think withdrawing from society, unless you know, there's a reason to do that. But if you have youthful vigor, male vitality essence,
I'm thinking it's time we got to take the cities back.
these nuisances walking around on the street, we got to establish a presence to let them know they're not welcome.
Yeah, we overheard somebody on the phone screaming about a single cigarette.
I gave you that weed so we could smoke together. 3 feet away from us, screaming into her phone. Really, anything external, at some point it's going to be violated by, name it, train derailment. I was living in the woods and having the best life, and I would wake up every morning and look out on the field with the morning dew, and then a train derailed and the river turned black. East Palestine cover-up is so bonkers. He's just posting how they modified the toxicology profile for vinyl chloride days before the derailment. Oh my God.
Lately when these things are happening, I'm like erring on the side of, oh, it's probably just like a coincidence, or it's like, it's not, there's no way that...
There's no way all these trains and factories are getting blown up and it's a coincidence.
How much chloride is on Rhode Island?
Well, we had acid rain.
Really?
Yeah. Water droplets in my truck had bubbles in them, and they left like a residue. And Julian and Laker had the same thing. Like, yeah, you have to be armored up. You have to be adaptable. You have to have some Nike ACG boots on. You have to have a liquid bank account, multiple forms in case they seize your shit. You have to have the armor on. If you're a man, you have to, because everything else, it's at some point you're going to get violated by some freak show clown world assassin. I've been around most of the United States, and I've seen most of what there is on offer. And the main thing is that I would like some degree of agitation. I feel like if you go into the woods, or if you're surrounded by an idyllic countryside, they might even have more lawn signs in New Hampshire that say, in this house we believe science is science. I get the you want to go be surrounded by white people, but white people have a learning disability. If I was in New Hampshire and I bought a farm in the middle of the woods, and I was ready to cut my own firewood, and I was driving around, I had made the decision to remove myself from society, and I saw like someone with a Planned Parenthood bumper sticker, I would kill someone. If I lived in New Hampshire and I had a gun and I saw people driving around with, that was all love is love, I'd shoot somebody. The stimulus is the information. Like, living in a ghetto, it's not the worst place in the world. It's not like Harlem. It's not, you're not gonna get killed. Like, some guy totaled his Suburban on OxyContins in my driveway. Yeah. So it's like I look outside and I see, oh, what are they up to today? And when I see a school bus full of these kids, I think, oh boy, there's the rocket scientist transport making me late. Here we go again. Here's the future brain surgeons and rocket scientists of America making me late to work. If you want to be a comedian, I think if you want to be a comedian, the best thing you could do is probably work at a call center.
Pissed off.
The worst thing you could do is go live in the woods and chop firewood and be nature man. Because you're going to lose touch with actuality fast. And you're going to get comfortable. And I'd like to be comfortable someday, but right now I need to be living on the edge of my fear, as David Data says. Real name David Greenberg! I wonder why he chose David Data. Sounds so cool and sexy.